This is the enemy within on Reaper 1 Skull. I'm going to buff my hireling with resist for this one. And so the big challenge in this quest is just the mobs that you know, spawn a pretty high number of mobs, which means
Someone
a
nailed these
pretty
doorways shut.
good chance of Reapers.
The left
So
doorway
basically,
remains open.
we take the only way we can, which is left, and this takes us to where in Mira's Sleepless Nights we saw these two
The
iron
stalwart
golems.
iron golems rumble to life and proceed the barrier.
And then the quest, there's no fighting up to that point. The quest basically begins where Mira's Sleepless Nights left off. And you want to keep your, there's a lot of arcane skeletons. They're called something different, but you want to keep your shield clicky on here. And whenever you see this sort of look on the floor, it's a floor that will collapse, so you just sort of sidestep it like this. The floor will still collapse, but then you won't go into it. And avoid, be careful not to fall into that trap. I think it's quite a bit of damage for that skeleton, from that champion. Alright, so let's back up. Plague Reaper. This is almost always death for us. So we're going to big attack. Okay, he's on the hireling, which I guess is kind of good. Alright, well, that was actually an easier encounter than usual with Plague Reaper, because the Plague Reaper started off attacking me, then switched to my hireling, so that means neither of us had the heal debuff for long. So I guess one possible way to deal with the Reaper is for that to happen. The problem is I have a lot of threat. I have a little bit of threat from my Sacred Defender tree, I believe. So I should always be getting almost always be getting the aggro. All right. So now before we pull this, we are going to search. Switch to my search item. And then pull the lever.
Your keen ears detect grinding gears and coiled springs ratcheting into position.
And then take the way forward. Alright, let's back up a little bit. We get this acid rain, and might as well break this into a couple of fights. These rooms are tough fights with the casters. And then if a Reaper spawns, it's even tougher. Okay, so now this guy's not going to move. We might as well. Just him and a few archers. So I'm going to use this on him. And you could pretty much ignore these archers, but I don't know. I'm not real good at ignoring them. So I don't think we're coming back here, but for the most part, archers are not real super dangerous, and they don't generate dungeon alert, so you can pretty safely skip them. And there's no levers. In some of these where there's archers, there are levers. This is not one of those places. So that big explosion where I killed a bunch of enemies, it looks like an explosion, is actually my holy retribution, which has a 30-second timer. Alright, let's go through this door. And looking on the map, we're kind of coming up to the point where there's a circular area that we kind of go around and get 2 crests. And if you find you're taking too much damage here, I'm wearing Ring of the Mire strictly for the spear block because there's a lot of archers that we're facing. Alright, Fear Reaper, I'm going to have to face him. Let's see, this is going to be a little tougher but with all these archers, but still not too bad. Nothing compared to a Famine Reaper. So, a lot of champions here, and a lot of damage, so annoying. This guy's up on here. Alright, that's 1 down. Next guy I'm going to use a Holy Retribution on. That's 2 champions down. Let me get this 3rd one. Let's take the rest of them out. Yeah, archers are pretty harmless for the most part with the spear block, but the champions are never harmless. Alright, this opens the door. We're going to have a few enemies to fight. Oh.
There's a mechanism affixed to the ceiling at the end of this hole.
I'll just go this way first.
End of a steel lever.
Let's see, and no room here. Get to take care of this frost marrow like ASAP. Alright, and then so there's no levers in here, I guess. That's the next room. So here's our pit area, so we just sidestep it. And this should be the room where we get our first crest. So yeah, I'm not sure why they're aggroed on the hireling there, but maybe there's some sort of aggro mechanism I'm not aware of with undead aggroing on hirelings, or aggroing on clerics. Alright, there's crest number 1. And a lot of collectibles in this quest, which is pretty cool. And so if you look at the map, we did one half of this. Now we have to basically backtrack and do the other half, and then we'll be able to get to that center area. Be sure to sidestep or jump over all those traps avoided on the way back. They're still going to be there. That's not one, I don't think. But all right, here's the other half. Carnage Reaper. All right, let's get back him up here, away from the other mobs. So I think the Carnage Reaper opened some sarcophagus that we had not opened as part of his spawning. Oop, we got this guy. So I'm just going to ignore these archers this time, since we're not going to be coming back this way. And more undead, guarding the crust. And lots of collectibles. And there's a very rare collectible called Lightning Split Swordwood, which we can get from these. I've only gotten one so far, but happy to have that one. So eventually we could use that to upgrade our trinket or any jewelry item to basically get +1 to saves. It stacks with other. Wait, why am I going back this way? So I'm going to keep going forward. I'm just going to ignore these archers. Jump over this. He's trying to bait people. They're trying to bait us into that trap. Just ignore them. All right, and we have to again pull a lever that's trapped, and it's this side, I think, this time. So the trap's activated by the lever, so we don't have to worry about where we are. Whoa, here's one I missed, so I'm just going to get up here, pull the hireling up. Alright, and there's a shrine if we want to use it. Yeah, might as well. Giratrina, our hireling, is dead. Let me get these guys first. So let's see if I can find out where. There's her soul stone. So basically we'll just come down away from the traps, grab the stone, and then I'm going to have to run through here, I guess. With evasion, we probably won't get killed by that trap. Without evasion, we're almost certain to die. So I'm going to might as well drop the... So if that hireling won't come to you, just drop their stone, and then they'll usually teleport. So I'm just going to have them use this, since I've got all my lay on hands left still, before I shrine. I'm gonna shrine first, and then buff myself while she shrines, or have her give me some spell points back, and then have her shrine while I'm afterwards to make sure I could maximize my spell points. So let's see, I'm gonna buff myself. Takes a little longer, but means I start the quest with a lot of spell points, or and then she still has all of her cookies to give me spell points left. Alright, now I'm just gonna have her give me spell points before she shrines, since she didn't use that yet. And no sense, she'll just use them all up. And shrine. Well, have to sometimes move to get her to shrine. Oh, she already shrined. Oh well. She did it on her own, I guess. Alright, so I'm gonna take this over and then call the hireling. Alright, I see a Plague Reaper up ahead. Let me try to get this Frost Reaper first. Alright, I'm gonna back up as far as I can near the shrine at this point, since Plague Reapers are pretty much killing me. We'll see if the Plague Reaper comes to us up here. There we go. And so now if we die, we're right by the shrine. Since this Plague Reaper has been known to kill us. And of course, when I run back to the shrine, it's no problem. Always the way it works. So put the hireling on stand his ground. But at this point, whenever I see a Plague Reaper, I'm going to be very inclined to pull it back to the... Alright, here's some of the enemies that spawn below. That should make that mob down here a little less intimidating. Yep, looks like a lot of them ran to me. They just took time to get there. So that's the great thing about retreating, is you kind of break the mobs into waves based on their speed a little bit. Alright, and so this... So this basically path took us to the next area where we have to go left and right, and this time we need to get 4, and there you can see the collapsing floor. Whoops. Try to get away from the floor, collapsing floor. Hireling is right on top of it, but I think it does. Alright, and so this basically gives us two paths, right and left, or up or down, technically, but right or left from where we came, and so we're going to just do one path at a time. Oops, hireling, let's get the hireling up. Use my smaller heals that take a little longer, but conserve spell points. Well, Hardy, nice. So Hardy 6 death block. I had a Hardy 5 death block. Let's see if I'm at an odd charisma right now. I am. So actually, this would probably be a nice upgrade for my armor. I'm at 454 hit points, and the current armor basically has electric absorb 16%. I don't even know how much that's really proccing. So let me try to put this on as my main armor. This current armor is 113 durability and 17 hardness, and the new armor is 162 durability and 22 hardness. So I've been worrying about my armor wearing out. Let's see which of these is the worst. In here I've got Sonic Absorb, Acid Absorb, and Electric Absorb. Probably the Sonic is the least likely to pop up, so I'm just going to drop this here and I'll probably sell the other one. Alright, well, and that brings me to 469, so an extra 15 hit points is always welcome. It's better than anything else I could wear at this level, so... Alright, so... I don't know if there's a lever here. I don't think there is. I think we could just ignore those guys. Thinking this one, the crusts we want are all over here in these rooms. Oops, let's get Hireling. Hireling likes to spawn those traps. Alright, time for this thing. I didn't get a champ, unfortunately. I'm getting a little lag here. Should clear in a second. I'm just going to pause it while this lag spike resolves. Alright, so that was apparently the game was having an issue there. There's about a 30-second lag spike, or maybe even closer to a minute. And I thought maybe initially it was just me, but then in talking with a guildie, he said, okay, Famine, let me get my magic missile protection on real quick. He said that he was stuck in the launcher, so the whole game seemed to be having issues for about a minute. It's not too often. I mean, I've been very, very happy with this game performance. I don't really have too many issues. Once in a while, I have a little bit of a lag spike for a few seconds. That's the first time this entire series that I've had a lag spike that lasted longer than a few seconds. Although here's another one. Here's another one. So, and that would be unfortunate to die to this. So all you can do is just keep healing yourself through it. Oh, there we go. so and let's see, do I have 2 crests? I just have 1 crest. Okay, this is where I'm going to get the second crest. The second crest comes from one of these mind flares, and he should be evil, so I should be able to do this. Yep. Ooh, elixir of major mnemonic. Those are very valuable in this game. Just gonna see if there's a chest on these corners. Nope. All right, so that's 2 crests from this side. Now I need to get 2 from the other side. All right, and now I'll go to the other side. And all my resists wore out, so let me just rebuff here. Still got a little time left on my shield. And I think that's it for shrine, so I'm going to try to conserve my shield clickies. There's one we could run back to, but I doubt I will run back to it. Sidestep. Those traps. No plague. Bad news. Still got my healing debuff on a little bit. So that's encouraging. Basically got stuck with a Plague Reaper in the middle of a mob and lived to tell about it. Alright, this hireling's not going to make it to the end for sure. So now I have the decision, do I just try to go on without the hireling, or do I... Okay, Fear Reaper. Or do I circle back and use the other shrine we didn't yet use? This arcane skeleton. Gonna give Katrina acid resist if she lives through this. Nope. Alright. So I'm going to I don't think I have a choice. I think I'm gonna clear this side first because I don't want to backtrack now, but then I'm gonna go back to the shrine and use it before the end fight. So she'll be pretty useless here. Actually, let me Gonna go that way, but I'll try to get one more room without her. I'm actually nervous that we're gonna get a. She fell in the spike trap. Nope, there she is. Let me leave her there for now. Alright, no plague reapers that I see. Oh, famine, there we go. Bad news. So yeah, that's encouraging, I guess, that I could basically survive a fight without the hireling with a famine reaper. Let me get these last couple undead. But I'm gonna have to go back and get the hireling healed, I think. I don't want to take a chance of that being a plague reaper. So I get this crest and then go back and shrine. And these are the kind of decisions you have to make sometimes when running difficult content is, you know, running back to that shrine. It's almost as bad as, not quite, but it's almost as long as basically dismissing the hireling and then going back to the start and re-summoning. Not quite that bad, but alright, so I'm gonna head back to the shrine. It's actually not that bad. It doesn't look too bad. And then this way. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. For some reason it seemed longer. That's because we've covered a lot of ground, but if you actually look at the map, it's not too much of a hike back. And I'm pretty sure we used the shrine to the left, so I'm going to try the one to the right first. I didn't do a good job of keeping track of which one we used. But I'm pretty sure it was this shrine to the left. Alright, and you do get respawns here. And all we have left is basically a mind flayer fight to get a crest, and then the end fight. So this should be fine. This last shrine. She went ahead and shrined on her own, so I guess that's fine. Gonna give her all the resists. And they're gonna have her give some spell points in advance just in case she dies in a bad spot at a bad time. Then I'll have sort of pretty good pool to draw from for healing. And that should be good enough for now. Okay, so that wasn't nearly as I thought it was going to be a longer hike for some reason, but that wasn't too bad. So now we'll continue forward to get the crest from the Mind Flayer. I guess I can get a little bit faster with this expeditious retreat. It goes from 20 to 25. I might as well do that. All right, sidestep this. Yep, there's a trap I missed. And we can just ignore these. I don't think there'll be a problem up here. I'm going to save my Holy Retribution for the Mind Flare. It's probably going to be a champion. It's orange name, so very good likelihood it's going to be a champion. Nope. Not a champion. Alright, so that was on Reaper 1 Skull, 387 RXP. It was a little bit of a longer quest, but that's still pretty good. 387. And I'm going to pause it while I go back to the end reward. Alright, nothing too interesting here. This could go good if I have another poison resistance item. Insightful 12 is a good number at this level. But I'm just going to grab an item I could sell. And that is the enemy within on Reaper 1 Skull.